Welcome to Joe T. I'm Jodie, and let's spill that Love is Blind UK tea. Love is Blind UK season 2 is here, and I was actually so excited for this season to start. I feel like it's been a minute since we've had a good season of Love is Blind. Of course, this is the second one of the UK, and the last one was pretty decent, so I'm excited to see it back again. My first thing that I noticed from episode 1 and 2 that I was actually just really disappointed in is I think every single couple that we see and speak told something about their appearance, whether it be tattoos or their ethnicity. Like, that's just not part of the game. We're not supposed to do that, even hair color. And then of course we have the trick of like, oh, I do HIIT every morning, which means you're obviously fit and probably skinny. I think they gave away too much, and the UK producers need to remind them they're not supposed to be giving all this away in like the first date. In any date, really, it's supposed to be Love is Blind, and that's to everything. So I am just a little bit disappointed in that, because I don't think that happens as often in the American original seasons, and I think if it does, it's only like one couple out of the whole season. I don't think there was a single one in these episodes that didn't tell, and it was just a little bit disappointing. Now, the first person we were introduced to was Ashley. For someone that doesn't want to be known by their career, she sure did talk about being part of cabin crew enough. It was every second joke, it was everything about her personality was being a cabin crew, but she doesn't want anybody to just judge her off being that. It was a little ironic. From the first conversation, for me, her match was going to be Billy. We didn't actually see her speak to anybody else, but it was straight away Billy for me. They had so many personal interests, even their career aligned so perfectly. She's cabin crew, he's part of the army, and the military can be a touchy subject, but she actually loved the military and she even volunteered there. They were off to an absolute smashing start, and they were pretty much perfect for each other. He is from Ireland as well. I think he's the only Irish person I heard. I think there was one girl, but she didn't get any screen time. I'll always shout out the Irish contestants because I'm Irish. And the first thing that she told him was that she was a cadet Barbie. Now, Ashley, that is giving away your identity. Now, I don't think he clocked it, but you're trying to give hints of what you look like. And I don't mess around with things like that, okay? It's supposed to be Love is Blind. Let's stop that. The second date, again, we are not supposed to be talking about appearances, so that's a common theme here. The first thing she asks him is, do you have tattoos? And I imagine she went on and on and on with questions, and they probably cut it out. But in date 2, I honestly thought, perfect, their schedules will align. She's cabin crew, he's military. I just assumed military means that they'll be flying in and flying out for work. She does the same. They come back, same schedules, happy families, meet at home. Everything is perfect, and they would just bounce right off each other. I thought their careers would just go like that. Boy, was I wrong, because by date 3, Billy was almost crying, sobbing, throwing up, because her being cabin crew was really affecting him. He had been in a relationship with someone that was cabin crew before, and it didn't work out. So he basically was asking her, like, are you willing to give that up? Can you not do that, please? I really did think that Billy was going to self-sabotage this whole relationship over her career. In date 4, they were actually matching outfits. I don't know if anybody spotted that, but they were matching outfits. I thought that was really cute. But she came in absolutely buzzing, and he was just not buzzing. He was like, I have to ask you, like, can you not do cabin crew? She actually agreed, though. She did say she would do an on-the-ground job, 9 to 5, whatever, if it meant it'd be better for their family. Now, I do think, like, career, work, that's something that you would need to be willing to compromise in a relationship. But for her work does seem to be, like, one of the biggest parts of her, like, her biggest part of her personality. She clearly loves her career, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I would be a bit cautious of her losing that for him, and then she kind of loses a piece of herself. I think in terms of compromising on that side, you just have to be a little bit more cautious. But I do think that they are an absolutely perfect match if they just work on their schedules. We seen on the 5th date that there was cowboy hats involved, and I don't know if she was trying to Irish dance or cowboy dance, but it was cute nonetheless. They actually told each other that they loved each other on the 5th date, and then on the 6th date, of course, he proposed to her and they met, and I actually think they're pretty perfect together. I thought he was going to be tiny towards her, but he's actually taller than her in heels. That's a good thing for women, I guess. That's always a plus. I think they're one of our most promising ones off the bat. There's always that one couple where we see them talk to nobody else. This time around, actually, there has been a few couples where we've only seen them speak to each other. I think we've only had 2 love triangles so far. So let's keep going through this. Our first love triangle was between Kieran, Sophie, and Megan. Sophie, the way she just holds herself is not for me. Just not my type of person. The way she was even speaking to the girls, and if anybody noticed, Yolanda, the girl that she was speaking to, were like, oh, can you tell me how to do my hair? And then she started getting bitchy with her because she wouldn't tell her. That is Mimi from Love Island's cousin, I believe, but she was pretty involved in Mimi's journey after Love Island. That's how I noticed her straight away, but she didn't actually get any screen time. I don't know if she comes up in the future, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. But yeah, Sophie did say that she is an only girl of 3 brothers, so that could kind of make sense to it, I guess. I did think at first that Kieran could tame her. I was like, oh, actually, yeah, they seem like a good match, but then when Megan entered the mix, When I first seen Megan, I thought girls that get the ick by guys that play games confuse me. Like, just let them have their hobbies and leave them in peace. But she didn't actually say anything verbally about it. She just kind of made faces about it. So hopefully she doesn't have that much of a problem with it. I actually don't understand why girls are so like, you can't play the video game, you can't be on the game. Like, yes, play your game. I would rather you play your game than have some sort of dangerous hobby beyond fucking alcohol and drugs. Sophie definitely gave the vibes that like she would kill Megan for getting in her way. I think the second date definitely showed us the difference though. Megan was a lot more down to earth and up for a laugh with Kieran. The conversation did go a little sexual, and I thought it was going to be one of them things of, oh, she gives him that conversation, she doesn't, he's going to go with her. But it actually wasn't. They actually were just being pretty playful and flirty almost. When he tried to initiate the same questions and conversations with Sophie, it was a no. Like, she was just not interested in basically any conversation with him in the second date, it seemed like. And realistically, that's not going to help you grow a connection with somebody through a wall. It's just not. Now, for the third date with Megan, we seen them actually go beyond the surface level, and I actually think that Megan is such a beautiful person. Just seeing her in her rawest form, speaking about her emotions and how she was brought up, I just thought it was a really beautiful moment, and you could feel the connection through the screen between them two. I definitely think Kieran is going to go more towards Megan than with Sophie. I also think Kieran comes in with the right questions to keep a conversation going. Like, he has some really good questions to actually get that connection and get to know each other. In Sophie's third date, he asked her what her goals were in life, and she told him that it's her goal to have specific designer handbags by a certain age and to travel. That kind of just describes to the type of person she is, and that is not a dig at all. If that's just what you're into, that's fine, but I wouldn't imagine that to be a long-term life goal. Now, in this date, she did keep telling him she doesn't open up to people, but that just won't work here. You're not going to be able to build a relationship with somebody, and honestly, that's where I knew that she was just out of the race. And in the fourth date, she seemed very aware that Megan was also in the equation, and we seen her try and open up just a little bit more. She did give some backstory about why she is the way she is. Although it was a heartfelt moment, it's just a little bit too late. You're literally 3 dates too late. We're on the 4th date and now you want to have conversations. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. I think they only get 6 dates in there, and then, well, 5 dates and then proposal. So there's just no time for this, oh, I can't open up to people and my walls are too high. You came to the wrong show. In the 4th date, which was the same day, Kieran did give Megan a sentimental gift. For me, this cemented that he was choosing Megan. And I honestly think they'll make such a beautiful couple. When I first met Patrick, Mr. Spleen, I thought this guy knows what he's coming here for, and it felt kind of authentic, and he really was looking for marriage from this. I do hope that he is not acting for us. Something about him, it's just, I don't know how to put my finger on it, but it's given a little bit of acting. I hope it's not that, because the good guys are sometimes way too good to be true. Now, him and Anu hit it off. They seem to be going pretty good. Again, in the second date though, they disclosed their ethnicities. That was unfortunate. This man and his spleen though, like, he just won't shut up about this spleen thing. Every time he's on the screen, that is what he's talking about. So for me, I just don't know if there's a little bit of a game plan going on here, because he does own his own company helping people connect to their spleens. Does that make sense to you? They have kind of almost mismatched personalities. He's more laid back and almost like very chill, where she's more outgoing, which that works for a lot of people. Now I must say, by date 3, I do not trust Patrick at all. At this point, I don't trust him. I think him and his spleen need to go. I hope he doesn't hurt her. I do think though that this is gonna lead up to heartbreak for Anu, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope he proves me wrong, but I have a gut feeling about this one. A gut feeling about this one. I do think he's here to promote his spleen. One of my favorite couples that we've come across so far is Sarover and Cal. I think she is just so beautiful. She has such a calming energy about her. She's so soft. Her and Cal seem so similar. They both are co-owners of a business. They have a very similarly aligned family morals, built up careers, their outlook on life. They just seem very aligned and very similar. And they seem so lovely for each other, just like a wholesome couple. Now by date 3, they were disclosing heritage, and I was ready to just send everybody home because I was getting fed up. In this date, they did learn that he's half Pakistani and she is Indian. I'm aware of the conflict between the countries, but I didn't know that there's conflict between the people in England. I lived in England and I never noticed that conflict between the actual people. We seen that Cal started to get very kind of insecure that her family wouldn't accept him and it would just be a conflict. He's obviously getting very wrapped up already. They're catching feelings for each other by date 3, but now they're worried. But they did clear it up in the 4th date. Sanover explains to him that she had to come to a place where she put herself first, that she had only dated Indian men in her life. It wasn't working for her. And her parents and her grandparents actually had apologized to her for putting those boundaries on her, and her family actually has a lot of mixed couples now. She doesn't think that he needs to be worried about that at all. So they are back on track, and by the 5th date, he proposed. I can't wait to see them meet because I just think they are gonna have a fairy tale story. I hope that I'm not wrong, because we thought we had a fairy tale romance budding, it ended in shit. We get introduced to our second love triangle, and it is between Katisha, Javen, and Damola. Now straight away we see that Javen is coming in as a absolute player. Like, he's here to hurt somebody. He's talking about hide your girl, I've been single my whole life, and he's happy to date multiple women. That is a walking red flag. Why were you accepted into Love is Blind? Whereas Katisha is such a gentle soul who has been hurt in the past, and I think from hearing her story can easily be hurt. She's also been betrayed in previous relationships, which is gonna come with a lot of trust issues, and I honestly hate Javen for her. I do not like him for her, and honestly I hope she does not choose him in the end, because I feel like he's here to just fuck around and play with someone's heart, and she doesn't deserve that. She doesn't deserve to leave the show with more trust issues when she came here to find love. He's not here for seriousness, and I will actually not believe it. But on the other side, we've got Damola, who seems so laid back, so chill, and just actually gentle. He doesn't seem like he's here to play around. He knows what he's here for. He's just a lot more softer and caring, and you could tell that just from 2 dates. I like him a lot more, way more than Javen. The only thing that he did was a schoolboy error, because he went into the male quarters and he told the guys that he likes Katisha. Of course, Javen heard this, and I feel like the type of guy that he is he will now zoom in on her just because he doesn't like to lose. For both second dates, it's so hard to compare them both because they're just such different people. If we take away the aspect of judging Javen for what he said in his introduction video about how he likes to play around with girls and whatever, if we just take that aspect out and look at the dates, he did seem a little more playful with her. He kind of sounded like he stole Kieran's question book, or maybe Love is Blind producers gave them some questions and that's why they had similar questions. But like that, it tends to stay surface level when the relationships are going like that. It could go beyond that in the next few dates. Katisha does seem to be going more towards Javen right now. We did see in her second date with Damola that they did go beyond surface level, and he opened up to her and she opened up to him about their family life, their grandparents. I hope that she has her heart's best interest in mind when she makes this choice. I don't know, do you say that they should go with the safer option? If she likes Javen more, she should go with him. But honestly, I think the better choice for her and the more wise choice would be to go with the good guy, because why do good guys always finish last? And then the fake good guys always win and then show their true colors. That's just the repetitive storyline of this show, but I hope that she makes the right decision and she doesn't get her heart broken. I'm rooting for her in this show not to get her heart broken. Say it with me in the comments. She will not get her heart broken. The final pairing that we've seen introduced to us in episode 2, we only seen their first date, so we don't actually know if they talk to other people or whatnot, but honestly, from their first date, I would be surprised if they even went to another one after that. It is Jed and Barda. It's love at first conversation, not love at first sight because they can't see each other, but honestly they hit it off so well. It almost feels repetitive when I talk about these couples, because when they hit it off, it's always because they have similar life goals, similar morals, similar family beliefs, and that's just the core building of a relationship. This was another couple that could not wait to get their ethnicity out there. I don't know what it is with British people and why they're doing this. Can we not just say, I'm from Essex, I'm from Manchester, and actually just move on? We don't need to share our ancestry in the first date because you're ruining the concept of the show. Maybe I'm alone on that. Let me know if that infuriated you on these first 2 episodes, because it definitely got me. Now, we ended this show on a bit of a cliffhanger. Sophie is absolutely fuming because Megan came into the quarters. To be honest, she was screaming like a high school kid. The way the girls were screaming kind of was like, ew. I get why Sophie was annoyed, because the same day that had occurred was the same day she opened up to Kieran about her mom and what she had gone through. And now, as I said, a little bit too late, sorry about it. Megan did come in. I don't think Megan's aware that he has another interest, so at that time it's also not her fault, but he had gifted her like a little Japanese, I think it was like almost like a crystal. They didn't show us what it was. She came in and was obviously really excited about it. Her and all the girls were screaming really loud. The guys could hear from the other quarters. Sophie was absolutely raging. I guess she's gonna go in there because she's talking about, I'm not gonna be second best, I'm not gonna be competing with another girl. So I'm assuming she's gonna go in there and give it out to Kieran straight up. I hope it's not a situation though where she goes in and fights for him and then he chooses her, because we've seen in the last season where I think his name was Dave and he chose Lauren instead of Molly when he should have chose Molly, but Lauren just got there first to give out to him. So I hope we don't get a case of that, because Kieran and Megan are going to be a great match. Although I think him and Sophie would be matched good too, I just think Megan is more down to earth for him. My favorite couple so far is definitely Sanover and Cal, Ashley and Billy, and then for my favorite girl, I'm gonna say it is Katisha, because I will ride for her. I'm actually just really happy to be back watching Love is Blind, and we've got 2 more episodes to watch, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that episode. Let me know in the comments below how you found these first 2 episodes. I will see you guys in the next video.